Vladimir Putin wants to see it end. President Putin will make peace.
I also feel that I know that President Putin wants to make a deal.
I think President Putin wants peace.
How can we know if Vladimir Putin wants to end his war on Ukraine? The answer may lie in this small town of 100,000 people, located far from Russia's decision-making center, the city of Moscow. On these nondescript premises, across from a statue to the Soviet leader Vladimir Lenin, which houses a violent purpose. This is the Votkinsk plant, where Russia manufactures their ballistic missiles. If you also believe that Putin wants to stop Russia's war, look not at what Russia says, but what it does. Russia is increasing its missile production and stockpile, not only for its short-range missiles, but also its long-range ballistic missiles, missiles that can reach across Europe and target the United States. This is the aftermath of one of Russia's attacks using an Iskander missile. The missile hit a residential area in the Ukrainian city of Kyiv back in April. 20 civilians were killed, including 9 children, and 75 more locals were injured. The Iskander missiles involved in such attacks are built at the Votkinsk plant, a state-owned facility serving the Russian nuclear forces. The plant's main source of pride, however, is its intercontinental missiles, intended for nuclear deterrence against the US. The Votkinsk plant has been expanding during the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, meaning that while its citizens face inflation and a flagging economy, Russia is channeling its tax revenue into its war machine. The plant's management does not even hide the expansion.
Многие российские заводы переживают эпоху возрождения, но в Воткинске она носит глобальный характер.
Мы смогли увеличить штатную численность на 2500 человек.
They boast about it to the domestic audience, seeking to evoke admiration among Russians.
Будет введено в строй 5. Вот это вот самое большое.
Мы должны были закупить свыше 7000 оборудования.
Additional workers, additional premises, and additional machinery. This is what they plan to expand the strategic enterprise of the Russian nuclear forces reportedly looks like. Given the secrecy of the Russian defense industry, verifying the exact numbers is difficult, but we can confirm the general trend. They are not bluffing. There are currently dozens of ads on Russian job sites that are currently seeking various specialists: CNC machine operators, engineers, electromechanics, milling and lathe operators, fitters, and other positions. Satellite images show 2 newly constructed buildings at the plant. Such a build-up during Russia's ongoing aggression, especially with this kind of purpose, should be hindered by the numerous sanctions imposed on Moscow, right? Sadly, this is not the case. Data on a handful of contracts reveal purchases of new equipment. Some relate to purchasing machines for processing metal, a necessary component for missiles. Without this exact machinery, the plant would not be able to increase its production of missiles.
Важно, перед нами станок отечественного производства.
Этот рентгеновский аппарат сделан в России.
In its films, Russian propaganda emphasizes that the Votkinsk plant relies on domestically produced equipment. But this is not the whole truth. Before we dive deeper into the story, a quick reminder. The Kyiv Independent is entirely member-funded, and it's your support that allows us to do investigations like this. Become our member following a link in the description below. Now back to the story. The most complex equipment, requiring precision, was imported to the Russian missile plant during the war. According to documents we obtained after losing the battle for Kyiv in 2022, revealing Russia's military weaknesses, Russia ramped up its production capacity. In early 2023, the Votkinsk plant signed contracts with Russian intermediaries to procure new equipment. and Russian companies went to negotiate with manufacturers, mainly from China. Manufacturing or importing machines takes a while, so they arrived at the plant mostly in 2024. Much of the imported equipment for this Russian missile plant comes from China, which has become Moscow's #1 ally in bypassing sanctions. These CNC milling centers, for example, are from a Taiwanese company called ICOM, which uses the Japanese Fanuc CNC system. They were sent to Russia by a Chinese subsidiary of the Taiwanese manufacturer. The US, EU, and a number of other countries prohibit selling such machines to Russia. But China, of course, doesn't care. China has not joined the sanctions, instead becoming a lifeline for Russian arms manufacturers. Additionally, the sanctioned Votkinsk plant uses intermediaries, little-known private Russian companies, to purchase imported equipment from China. So you won't find the plant among the direct equipment importers. This trick has been commonly used by Russian arms manufacturers. We emailed some of the Chinese and Taiwanese equipment suppliers to ask them if they had known who these machines were intended for. None of them replied. So, what does this all mean? The expansion of the strategic missile plant didn't happen overnight. It has been planned over several years by Russia for the intent of war. And how do we know? Because we can see what Russia does. Russia produced almost 3 times as many Iskander ballistic missiles in 2024 as in 2023, 700 versus 250. And they have launched 4.5 times more Iskander-type ballistic missiles at Ukraine in 2024 compared to 2023. And Russia has already launched more than 185 such missiles so far this year. It's also an important nuance to know that no Russian missile is produced by a single plant. There is an entire network of enterprises that manufacture different parts of the same weapon: bodies, guidance systems, fuel, and then they are assembled in one place, such as the Votkinsk plant. In total, more than 10 Russian military enterprises are involved in the production of Iskander missiles. The growing number of Russia-produced Iskanders means that Moscow has increased the capacity not only of the Votkinsk plant, but across the board of numerous other enterprises involved in their production. This poses a threat not only to Ukraine, but the entire world, and it should concern you no matter where you are. Currently, Russia's intercontinental ballistic missiles are produced at the Votkinsk plant. According to the document we obtained, the Russian Defense Ministry ordered the Votkinsk plant to produce a new batch of the Bulava intercontinental missiles a month after the start of the full-scale war against Ukraine, on March 31, 2022. These missiles are deployed on Russia's nuclear submarines. Russia does not need intercontinental missiles to target neighboring Ukraine. These missiles are designed for long-range use against Russia's distant enemies, like the United States and its allies. I was investigating Russia's missile production while sheltering from the explosions of these missiles in Kyiv. It is essential for me that people in countries that, together with Ukraine, oppose Russia, understand how it became possible that Russian arms industry got stronger despite sanctions. The answer eliminates the illusion that previous steps to limit and isolate Russia were enough. I couldn't do such investigations without the Kyiv Independent members. We are a member-funded media outlet, so if you want to support our work, become a member of the Kyiv Independent by following a link in the description below. Your contributions go directly towards our independent journalism. And if you want to suggest a topic for investigation, you can find my email in the description below. Thank you for watching and for your support.